Dr. Kim Ji-won stood at her office window in the Earth Defense Headquarters, watching alien ships land at the public spaceport. The ships were beautiful, with their gleaming silver hulls and smooth designs. They belonged to the Ryukan, one of the most advanced species in the Galactic Council. Ji-won smiled as she watched them land in completely the wrong way, wasting fuel and creating unnecessary noise. No one had told them that Earth's atmosphere had special wind patterns they could use to land more easily. That was exactly how humanity wanted it. She turned away from the window and looked at the holographic display floating above her desk. It showed the true state of Earth's technology: quantum-powered ships hidden in plain sight, weapons that could reshape reality itself, and medical advances that had practically made death optional. All of it hidden behind a carefully crafted mask of primitive technology. "Dr. Kim," her computer announced, "Captain Lee Do-hyun is here for your meeting." "Send him in," she said, turning off the hologram with a wave of her hand. The advanced display vanished, replaced by an old-fashioned computer screen showing simple graphs and charts. Everything in her office now looked properly primitive, just like the aliens expected. Captain Lee walked in, wearing a simple blue uniform that looked slightly worn. Like everything else humans showed to aliens, it was designed to appear just a little bit outdated. He carried a tablet that was deliberately thick and clunky, even though Ji-won knew he had a quantum computer woven into the fabric of his uniform. "The Ryukan delegation has landed," he said, sitting down in the chair across from her desk. "They're asking for another technology exchange meeting." Ji-won nodded, picking up her own outdated tablet. "Let me guess, they want to help us improve our primitive fusion reactors." "Exactly." Do-hyun smiled. "Should I tell them we're still struggling to maintain stable reactions?" "Yes, that would be perfect." Ji-won pulled up their standard response template. "Make sure to mention the containment field failures we had last month." They love feeling helpful. The truth was, Earth had mastered fusion power over 50 years ago. The reactors the aliens saw were just for show, deliberately designed to look impressive to primitive eyes, but laughably simple to advanced species. The real power plants were hidden deep underground, providing nearly unlimited clean energy to the entire planet. "There's something else," Do-hyun said, his smile fading. "The Ryukan are bringing their chief geneticist this time. They've never done that before." Ji-won frowned. This was new information, and new things could be dangerous when you're maintaining a planet-wide deception. "Have they said why?" "They claim they're interested in helping us with our genetic diseases." Do-hyun made air quotes with his fingers. "Apparently, they think it's tragic that we still suffer from cancer and heart disease." Ji-won started making notes on her tablet, using the clumsy older interface while her neural implant recorded everything perfectly. "We'll need to update the medical records we show them. Make sure all our hospitals display the right level of technology. Nothing too primitive. They'd get suspicious if we were completely helpless. Just keep us looking like we're on the edge of several big breakthroughs." "Already done," Do-hyun said. "Medical Command sent out the updates this morning. All our public hospitals are showing appropriate levels of struggle with basic genetic engineering." Ji-won stood up and walked back to the window. The Ryukan ships were now surrounded by Earth's best technology: clunky-looking cargo movers and simple scanning devices. She watched as human workers pretended to struggle with operating their equipment, making the kinds of mistakes that any developing species would make. "Sometimes I wonder if we're being too careful," Do-hyun said quietly. "The Galactic Council has accepted us as a young species. Maybe we could start showing a little more advancement." Ji-won shook her head. "Not yet. We still don't know enough about them. Every species we've met so far has been hiding something. The Ryukan, the Meridians, even the supposedly peaceful Altarians, they all have secrets." She turned to face him. "Humanity learned long ago that knowledge is power. Let them think we're struggling with basic technology. Meanwhile, we learn everything about them." Their conversation was interrupted by another announcement from the computer. "Dr. Kim, The Recon delegation is requesting permission to dock at the Defense Headquarters landing pad. Deny it politely, Jai-1 said. Tell them our primitive guidance systems aren't rated for their advanced ships. Direct them to the public spaceport's diplomatic section. She picked up a white lab coat from her chair. Another prop, as Earth's real scientific work was done in quantum-stabilized environments that didn't require any special clothing. Time to go play dumb again, she said to Do-hyun. Ready to struggle with basic physics. Do-hyun stood up, straightening his intentionally wrinkled uniform. I've been practicing my confused face all morning, he said with a grin. They walked together through the defense headquarters, passing walls lined with outdated computer screens and deliberately inefficient lighting systems. Every piece of technology was carefully chosen to show a species on the brink of true advancement, but not quite there yet. Humanity had turned deception into an art form. In the main conference room, they found their team already assembled. Park Soo-jin from engineering was setting up a presentation about Earth's latest attempts at improving space travel. Her slides showed engine designs that humanity had actually perfected centuries ago. Han Ta-won from medical research had prepared reports showing Earth's ongoing struggles with genetic diseases that had been cured generations ago. And Kim Min-ji from defense had arranged a display of Earth's most advanced weapons, simple projectile devices, and basic energy weapons that wouldn't frighten a child in Earth's true military. Remember, Jai-1 told her team, we're honored to learn from our advanced friends. Be enthusiastic but confused. Ask obvious questions. Make simple mistakes in your calculations. She looked each of them in the eye. And most importantly, never show any sign that you understand more than you should. The room's simple speakers crackled to life. Another carefully maintained piece of primitive technology. The Recon delegation has arrived at the building, the computer announced. Jai-1 took her place at the head of the conference table, surrounded by technology that humanity had outgrown centuries ago. As she waited for their alien visitors, she thought about the real Earth Defense Headquarters, hidden kilometers below the surface, where humanity's true power was monitored and maintained. The door slid open with an intentionally loud hydraulic hiss. Real Earth doors used silent quantum field manipulation, and the Recon delegation entered. They were tall, elegant beings with silvery skin and multiple sets of arms, their bodies wrapped in shimmering materials that seemed to change color with every movement. Their technology was impressive, but Jai-1 knew that humanity had already surpassed everything they were showing. Welcome to Earth Defense Headquarters, she said, using the simple universal translator attached to her collar instead of the perfect translation capabilities built into her neural implant. We're so honored to have such advanced beings willing to help our primitive species learn and grow. As the Recon delegation took their seats, their chief geneticist, looking around the room with poorly hidden disdain, Jai-1 allowed herself a small secret smile. Let them think humans were simple, struggling creatures. Let them underestimate Earth while humanity learned all their secrets. After all, humanity hadn't survived and thrived for so long by showing its true power to everyone who came along. Sometimes, the best way to become strong was to appear weak, and humanity had turned that strategy into a science. The meeting began, and Earth's greatest minds prepared to pretend they barely understood basic physics. Park Hae-jin watched her students play during their lunch break at the International Space Station School. The large observation window showed Earth floating below them, a beautiful blue marble against the darkness of space. Children from different countries played together, their laughter echoing through the station's carefully maintained atmosphere. But something felt wrong today. 3 Recon observers stood at the far end of the play area. They were supposed to be studying human educational methods, but Hae-jin had noticed they spent more time scanning the children with their devices than watching the teaching. She pressed her hand against her sleeve, activating the hidden quantum communicator woven into her simple teacher's uniform. Dr. Kim, are you available? Jai-1's voice came through clearly in her mind, though to any observers, Hae-jin appeared to be simply adjusting her collar. What's wrong, Hae-jin? The Recon are back again. Third time this week. They're scanning the children, and they're trying to hide it. There was a pause before Jae-won responded. Can you describe the scanning devices? Hae-jin pretended to write something in her outdated tablet while observing the aliens. They look like regular data pads, but I can see quantum fluctuations around them. My enhanced vision picks up energy patterns that match genetic sequencing technology. Stay calm and keep playing your role, Jae-won said. I'm sending Captain Lee with a maintenance team to check the station's primitive life support systems. They'll bring equipment that can secretly record everything the Rican are doing. Young Minho, one of Hae-jin's 6-year-old students, ran up to her with a drawing. Teacher Park, look what I made. Hae-jin smiled and knelt down to his level, acting like a normal teacher who couldn't see through walls or detect quantum energy patterns. It's beautiful, Minho. Tell me about it. As Minho explained his artwork, Hae-jin noticed one of the Rican observers taking special interest in him. The alien scanning device was pointed directly at the boy, and its readings were causing the Rican's silver-skinned to ripple with excitement. Very nice, Minho, she said, patting his head. Why don't you go show your friends? As the boy ran off, Hae-jin sent another message to Jae-won. They're particularly interested in Minho. His father works in the quantum engineering division, doesn't he? Yes, Jae-won replied. And his mother is one of our leading genetic researchers. Both facts are hidden from the Galactic Council, of course. They think his parents are mid-level maintenance workers. Captain Lee's maintenance team arrived an hour later, wearing simple gray uniforms and carrying basic tools. But Hae-jin's enhanced vision could see the advanced scanning equipment hidden within their ordinary-looking tools. They began working on a ventilation panel near where the Rican observers stood. Excuse me, one of the Ricans said, its universal translator making its voice sound artificially pleasant. Is there a problem with the station's systems? Just routine maintenance, Lee replied, fumbling slightly with his tools in a carefully practiced display of human technological inadequacy. Our primitive life support systems need constant attention. I'm afraid. We're grateful for any advice your advanced species could offer. The Rican made a gesture that humans had learned was their equivalent of a condescending smile. Perhaps one day your species will master basic environmental control. Though it's impressive you've managed to build a station at all with your limited understanding of physics. We do our best, Lee said humbly, while his hidden equipment gathered detailed data about everything the Rican were doing. Later that day, after the children had gone home and the Rican observers had left, Hae-jin met with Jae-won and Lee in a secure room deep within the station. The room's quantum shielding made it completely invisible to any scanning technology the aliens possessed. Their interest in our children is increasing, Jae-won said, displaying a hologram of the data they'd gathered. They're particularly focused on children from families we've hidden in plain sight. Our scientists, engineers, and military leaders who are posing as ordinary workers. But why? Hae-jin asked. What could they want with our children? Lee brought up another hologram, this one showing genetic analysis of the Rican scanning patterns. They're looking for something specific in human DNA. Something they think is special about our genetic structure. Have they found anything real? Hae-jin's enhanced vision studied the complex data floating in the air. No, Jae-won said. Our genetic masking technology is generations ahead of their scanning capabilities. They're seeing exactly what we want them to see. Normal human DNA that appears to be full of errors and flaws, just like any primitive species would have. But that doesn't explain why they're so interested in the children specifically, Lee pointed out. Why not study adult humans? Jae-won's face showed concern as she manipulated the holographic data. Children's DNA is more flexible, more adaptable. If someone wanted to study how human genetics could be modified. She didn't finish the sentence. She didn't have to. We need to take this to the council, Hae-jin said firmly. The real council, not the puppet government we show to the aliens. Jae-won nodded. Already done. They're meeting now in the deep bunkers beneath Old Seoul. Every major decision maker is there, hidden behind our quantum shields where the aliens can't detect them. And what about the children? Hae-jin asked, thinking of Minho's innocent smile. We're increasing security, but subtly, Lee explained. Each child now has quantum-linked protection built into their regular clothes. Any attempt to take them will trigger an immediate response from our hidden defense systems. But to the aliens, they'll still look completely unprotected. Keep teaching normally, Jae-won told Hae-jin. Let the Recon think they're observing simple human children in a primitive school. But watch them carefully. Record everything. And if they try something? Hae-jin asked. Jae-won's expression hardened. Then they'll learn why humanity has survived every threat it's ever faced. We've hidden our true power for centuries because we believe in peace. But if they threaten our children, she left the threat unspoken, but they all understood. Humanity's mask of primitive technology was a choice, not a necessity. And if the Recon forced them to drop that mask, they would learn just how advanced humans really were. As Hae-jin prepared for the next day's classes, she thought about all the hidden defenses protecting her students. Every crayon contained quantum sensors. Every toy could become a shield. Every cheerful decoration could summon Earth's most powerful weapons in microseconds. Let the Recon think they were watching helpless primitive children. Let them think Earth was defenseless. If they tried to harm even one child, they would discover just how wrong they were. The next morning, as her students filed into the classroom, Hae-jin noticed more Recon observers in the station. They tried to look casual, but her enhanced senses detected their scanning devices working at full power. She sent a quick message to Jae-won through her quantum link. They're getting bolder. Whatever they're planning, I think they're getting close to making their move. Jae-won's response was immediate. Then we'll be ready. Keep playing your role, Teacher Park. Let them think they're the clever ones. Hae-jin smiled at her students and began the day's lessons, knowing that beneath her simple teacher's appearance, she was part of humanity's most sophisticated defense system. The Recon thought they were studying human children. They didn't realize that every human they saw was studying them right back, gathering data, analyzing patterns, and preparing for whatever they might try. The game of deception continued, but the stakes were getting higher, and humanity's children were now at the center of it all. Ambassador Choi Yuna stood before the Galactic Council, her simple diplomatic robes hiding advanced quantum armor underneath. The council chamber rose in great circles above her, filled with representatives from 100 alien species. The Recon delegation sat in the front row, their silver skin gleaming under the chamber's lights. Honorable Council, Yuna began, using the simple translator at her throat. Earth requests an explanation for the increased surveillance of our children. We are a simple species, but we care deeply for our young ones. The Recon chief geneticist stood up. His name was impossible for human tongues to pronounce, so Earth's diplomatic corps called him Silver Speaker. There is no need for concern, he said smoothly. We are merely studying your educational methods. Your species' primitive teaching techniques are quite fascinating. Yuna saw Dr. Kim Ji-won and Captain Lee Do-hyun sitting in the human section of the audience. They both wore simple clothes that hid complex scanning equipment. Through her quantum link, Jae-won sent Yuna a message. They're lying. Our sensors detect unusual energy patterns in their delegation. With respect, Yuna continued, our primitive sensors have detected your scanning devices near our children. We may be technologically behind your species, but we can recognize when someone is taking genetic readings. A murmur went through the council chamber. The Recon delegates spoke quietly among themselves. Finally, Silver Speaker stood again. Very well, he said. Perhaps it is time for honesty. The Recon have made a remarkable discovery about human children. The chamber grew silent. Yuna felt her quantum armor adjusting itself, preparing for any possibility. Human genetic code contains something unique, Silver Speaker continued. Something we have never seen before. Your DNA has perfect stability markers, a trait our species lost millennia ago. Our own children are born with increasing genetic errors. Each generation becomes weaker. But your children, he paused, his silver skin rippling with emotion. Your children could save our entire species. Through her quantum link, Yuna heard Captain Lee's voice. Our fleet is in position, hidden in plain sight, just as we planned. What exactly are you suggesting? Yuna asked, though she already knew the answer. We require 1 million human children, Silver Speaker announced. Their genetic material will allow us to cure our species' degradation. This is not a request, it is a demand. The council chamber erupted in shocked voices. Other species representatives began arguing among themselves. Yuna noticed that none of them seemed surprised. They had known this was coming. You cannot simply take our children, Yuna said, letting her voice shake with carefully practiced fear. We may be primitive, but we will fight to protect them. Silver Speaker made a gesture that humans had learned meant pity. Fight. With what? Your primitive weapons. Your simple ships. We have studied your military capabilities. You cannot stop us. In the audience, Jai-1 sent another message through the quantum link. They've started moving their fleet. 30 ships just appeared near Earth's moon. Yuna bowed her head, appearing defeated. Please, she begged, playing her role perfectly. Give us time to discuss this. Let us find another way. You have 24 Earth hours to prepare the children for transport, Silver Speaker declared. After that, we will take them by force. Your primitive defenses cannot stop us. The council session ended in chaos. As the alien representatives filed out, Yuna noticed many of them avoiding eye contact with the human delegation. They knew what was coming, and they had chosen not to warn Earth. In a secure room deep beneath the council chamber, Yuna met with Jai-1, Do-hyun, and their team. The room's quantum shielding prevented any alien technology from detecting them. All the pieces are in place, Do-hyun reported, showing a hologram of Earth's true military positions. Our fleet has been hiding in plain sight for months. Every primitive cargo ship is actually a warship. Every simple satellite is a weapons platform. We can reveal our true technology at any moment. The Recon think they're dealing with helpless primitives, Jai-1 added. Their scans show exactly what we want them to see. They have no idea that every human child already has quantum protection built into their cells. Taking them would be impossible. What about the other council species? Yuna asked. They're clearly involved in this plan. Our deep cover agents have confirmed it, Jai-1 said. The Recon promised to share whatever they learned from our children's genetics. Many species are facing similar genetic degradation. They're all desperate for a solution. Then they're all our enemies, Yuna said firmly. After centuries of hiding our true power, of playing the peaceful primitives, they give us no choice but to show them what humanity can really do. Do-hyun's hologram showed the positions of alien ships gathering near Earth. Their fleet is impressive by their standards. But compared to our real technology, send the coded signal to all Earth forces, Yuna ordered. Operation Guardian begins now. The moment they make a move toward any human child, we show them exactly how primitive we aren't. Jai-1's quantum sensors detected more alien ships arriving in the solar system. They're gathering their forces. They still think they're being subtle, using technology they believe is far beyond our ability to detect. Let them come, Yuna said. Humanity has hidden its strength for centuries because we believed in peace. We played the part of primitive newcomers to the galactic community because we hoped to learn and grow together. But now, they threaten our children. She looked at the hologram showing Earth's hidden defenses. Every satellite, every space station, every seemingly primitive human structure contained technology centuries ahead of anything the aliens had seen. Humanity had learned long ago that the best way to keep power was to hide it until absolutely necessary. Send word to all our people, she ordered. Maintain the deception until the last possible moment. Let them think we're panicking, helpless primitives about to lose our children. But the moment they cross the line. Already done, Do-hyun confirmed. Every human knows their part. We've trained for this possibility for generations. As they prepared for the confrontation to come, Yuna thought about all the times humanity had chosen to hide its power, to play the part of the primitive species learning from its advanced neighbors. They had learned so much by letting others underestimate them. But now that strategy had served its purpose, the Ryuken and their allies would learn very soon that humanity's primitive appearance was a choice, not a weakness. They would learn why Earth had survived every crisis it had ever faced. They would learn what happened when someone threatened human children. In 24 hours, the galaxy would never be the same, and it would all begin with humanity finally stopping its centuries-long act of playing dumb. The 24 hours passed quickly. Captain Lee Do-hyun stood on the bridge of his ship, which until now had appeared to be a simple cargo vessel. Around Earth, the Ryuken fleet had gathered in force. Their silver ships filled the sky, positioning themselves above major cities. "They're starting their move," his second-in-command reported. "Ryuken transport ships are entering the atmosphere. They're heading for schools and residential areas." Do-hyun nodded calmly. "Send the signal. It's time to stop pretending." Across Earth and throughout the solar system, humanity's mask fell away. The simple cargo ships transformed, their primitive hulls dissolving to reveal advanced warships underneath. Hidden weapons platforms emerged from beneath the surface of the moon. Quantum shields appeared around every school and population center, shimmering with power that the aliens had never seen before. In the International Space Station school, Park Ha-jin gathered her students in the main hall. The children were calm. They had trained for this day since they could walk, though the aliens had never noticed the training hidden within simple games and stories. "Remember what we practiced," she told them with a reassuring smile. "Stay together and watch the pretty lights." The quantum shields around the children activated, visible now as a soft blue glow. Through her enhanced vision, Ha-jin watched as Ryuken transport ships approached the station. They were about to learn that taking human children was impossible. On Earth, Dr. Kim Ji-won stood in the real Earth Defense Headquarters, no longer hidden underground. The primitive exterior melted away, revealing a structure built from technologies that humanity had kept hidden for centuries. On her displays, she watched as the Ryuken ships entered Earth's atmosphere. "They're scanning for our children's genetic signatures," one of her technicians reported. "Should we keep the masking program running?" "No," Ji-won said firmly. "Let them see what they're really dealing with. Show them the true nature of human DNA." Across every screen, the genetic data changed. Gone were the deliberate flaws and weaknesses humanity had displayed for so long. Now the aliens could see the true state of human genetics, perfectly engineered over centuries of careful advancement, protected by quantum-level defenses woven into every cell. In the Galactic Council chamber, Ambassador Choi Yuna stood before the assembled species. She had removed her simple diplomatic robes, revealing the advanced quantum armor underneath. The alien representatives stared in shock as her translator dissolved, replaced by perfect universal translation provided directly by her neural implants. "You thought we were primitives," she said, her voice clear and strong. "You thought we were helpless. You thought you could take our children." She paused, looking at each council member in turn. "You were wrong." On her quantum display, she watched as humanity's true fleet revealed itself. Thousands of ships, hidden in plain sight for decades, now showed their real power. The Ryuken fleet, which had seemed so overwhelming an hour ago, now looked small and primitive in comparison. "This is your only warning," she announced to the council. "Withdraw your ships, cancel your plans, leave our children alone, or learn why humanity has survived every threat it has ever faced." Silver Speaker stood up, his silver skin rippling with a mixture of fear and anger. "Impossible. Our scans showed your technology was primitive. Your genetics were flawed. Your defenses were basic. We showed you what we wanted you to see, Yuna replied calmly. For centuries, we have hidden our true capabilities, learning from every species we met, understanding your strengths and weaknesses. We played the part of primitives because we believed in peace. In Earth's orbit, Captain Lee's fleet moved into position. Each ship now displayed its true form, sleek, powerful vessels that made the alien ships look like ancient relics. His crew operated with perfect efficiency, their neural implants allowing them to control their ships with mere thoughts. Rukan vessels are charging weapons, his tactical officer reported. Let them, Du-hyun said calmly. Show them what real weapons look like. From every human ship, quantum-based defense systems activated. The Rukan weapons fire dissipated harmlessly against shields they couldn't even detect. In response, small drones deployed from Earth's fleet, each one containing technology more advanced than anything the aliens had. The drones surrounded the Rukan ships, bypassing their shields as if they weren't there. Within seconds, every alien vessel was caught in a quantum containment field. They could no longer move, fire weapons, or even communicate with each other. In her classroom, Hajin watched through the windows as the space battle ended before it truly began. The Rukan transport ship that had been approaching the school now hung helpless in space, surrounded by technology they had never imagined humans possessed. Teacher Park, young Minho said, looking up at her, can we show them our real classroom now? Hajin smiled and nodded. Around them, the simple schoolroom transformed. The primitive learning tools disappeared, replaced by advanced quantum education systems. The children's simple clothes shifted, revealing comfortable but highly advanced garments that could protect them from any harm. Yes, she said. No more pretending. In the council chamber, the alien representatives watched in stunned silence as their view screens showed the true face of humanity. Gone were the primitive cities and simple technology. Now they saw the real Earth, a planet of wonders beyond their understanding. Protected by defenses they could barely comprehend. We tried to be peaceful, Yuna told them. We hid our power because we wanted to learn from you, to understand you, to grow together as a galactic community. But you threatened our children. And that is something humanity will never tolerate. Dr. Kim's voice came through her neural link. The Rukan fleet is completely contained. Their ground forces have been neutralized. No casualties on either side. You have a choice, Yuna announced to the council. Accept the new reality or face the consequences. Humanity is not the primitive species you thought we were. We are not helpless. We are not weak. And we will protect our children with everything we have. The council chamber erupted in chaos as the representatives realized the full implications of what they were seeing. The species they had dismissed as primitive newcomers was actually far more advanced than any of them. Every piece of data they had gathered about humans had been carefully crafted to deceive them. Captain Lee's voice came through the quantum network. All Rukan ships are secure. Their weapons have been neutralized. Should we begin the real negotiations now? Yuna looked at the stunned faces around her. Yes, she said. It's time to show them exactly who they're dealing with. No more masks, no more pretending. Let them see the real humanity. The game of deception was over. Now the galaxy would have to deal with humanity as it truly was, not as primitive newcomers, but as one of the most advanced species in existence. And it had all happened because they had threatened the wrong children. Commander Kang Min-seo walked through the transformed halls of Earth's diplomatic center, no longer hidden beneath its primitive disguise. 1 month had passed since humanity revealed its true power to the galaxy. The building now displayed its real form, flowing quantum architecture that adjusted itself to the needs of its occupants, walls that could become transparent or solid at a thought, and technology that made most alien species' advanced equipment look like children's toys. Today, she would lead the first real diplomatic talks with the Galactic Council. No more pretending. No more hiding. It was time to build new relationships based on truth. Dr. Kim Ji-won stood beside her, reviewing data on her neural display. "The Recon delegation is arriving," she said. "Their ships are staying well outside Earth's defense perimeter this time." Mincio nodded. The Recon had learned their lesson. Their failed attempt to take human children had cost them dearly, not in lives, as humanity had been careful not to harm anyone, but in pride and power. "Are we ready for full disclosure?" Mincio asked. "The Council has agreed to our terms," Jai-1 confirmed. "In exchange for our help with their genetic problems, they'll accept Earth as a full member, not as a primitive species to be guided, but as one of the most advanced civilizations in known space." The diplomatic chamber adjusted itself as alien representatives began arriving. Gone were the simple chairs and basic translator devices. Now each representative sat in a perfectly customized environment, maintained by quantum fields that could replicate any homeworld's conditions. Silver Speaker entered last, his silver skin dulled with what humans now knew was embarrassment. He had been allowed to keep his position after extensive debates among his people. The Recon had decided that the one who had most closely studied humans, even if he had been deceived, was best suited to deal with them now. "Welcome to the Real Earth Diplomatic Center," Mincio said, using perfect universal translation through her neural implants. "Today, we begin honest negotiations." Through her quantum link, she received a message from Captain Lee Do-hyun, who was overseeing the space station school. "The children are watching. They're excited to finally show their real studies to their alien friends." Mincio smiled. Even after everything that had happened, human children remained curious and friendly. Perhaps they would help build the bridges that fear and deception had damaged. "Before we begin," Silver Speaker said, his voice humble, "my species owes humanity an apology. We acted out of desperation, but that does not excuse our actions." "Apology accepted," Mincio replied. "Now let us show you how we can help, not through theft and force, but through cooperation and understanding." Dr. Kim activated the chamber's holographic systems, displaying the true state of human genetic science. The alien representatives gasped as they saw centuries of advancement revealed at once. "What you thought was primitive DNA was a mask," Jai-1 explained. "Humanity mastered genetic engineering generations ago. We can help you cure your species' degradation. All of your species." She looked around the room at the representatives who had supported the Recon plan. "All you had to do was ask." Ambassador Choi Yuna joined them, her quantum armor now worn openly as a symbol of her position. "Earth is offering a new relationship with the galactic community," she announced. "We will share our medical knowledge, help strengthen your genetics, and work together for the benefit of all species. But there are conditions." The chamber was silent as the aliens waited. They had learned that when humans made conditions, it was wise to listen carefully. "First," Yuna continued, "no species may ever again threaten human children, or any children of any species. We will write this into galactic law, enforced by Earth's full military power if necessary." Through their neural links, the human leaders shared quick messages of support. This was the cornerstone of their new policy: protection for all children, not just human ones. "Second," Mincio added, "we will establish new protocols for technological exchange. No more deception from any species." She looked meaningfully at several representatives who had their own hidden technologies. "We know more than you think about what everyone has been hiding. It's time for honesty." In the school station, Park Ha-jin was finally showing her students real capabilities to the amazed alien observers. Young Minho demonstrated quantum mathematics that the Recon had thought impossible for their own scientists. Other children showed their advanced understanding of sciences that most species hadn't even discovered yet. "We kept our children's true education hidden to protect them," Ha-jin explained to the observers. "But they have always been learning, growing, preparing for the day when we could be honest about who we are." Back in the diplomatic chamber, the negotiations continued. Each species brought forward their real technologies, their real problems, their real hopes. Humanity's revelation had forced everyone to be more honest about their own capabilities and challenges. The galaxy is entering a new age, Min Seo told them. One where we can all grow stronger together, without fear or deception. Earth will help lead the way, not because we are the most powerful, but because we understand both strength and restraint. Dr. Kim's genetic research was already helping the Rukun. Their children would be born healthy again within 1 generation. Other species were receiving similar help, each solution carefully tailored to their specific needs. Captain Lee's fleet now patrolled openly, protecting not just Earth, but any world that asked for help. The quantum shields that had protected human children were being adapted to protect all children, of all species, from any threat. As the day's negotiations ended, Min Seo stood at the chamber's window, looking out at the transformed Earth. The planet now showed its true face to the galaxy. Beautiful, advanced, powerful, but also wise enough to know when to hide that power and when to reveal it. Was it worth it? Jai-1 asked, joining her at the window. All those centuries of hiding who we really were. Min Seo watched as ships from a dozen species moved peacefully through Earth's space, no longer afraid of the humans, but finally understanding them. Yes, she said. We learned about them. We understood their fears and hopes. And when they finally forced us to show our true strength, we knew exactly how to use it wisely. Above them, the stars shined on a galaxy that was changing. Humanity had stopped playing dumb, but they hadn't stopped being smart about how they used their power. They had protected their children, but now they would protect all children. They had hidden their strength, but now they would use it to help others become strong. The age of deception was over. The age of true cooperation had begun, and it had all started because someone had threatened the wrong children, not realizing that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in its hidden technology or advanced genetics. It was in knowing when to hide that strength, when to reveal it, and how to use it wisely once it was revealed.